Fine. Yalla, yalla, infidels. They call me Mr. Fantastic, Mr. Romantic. That's right. I'm back with the man himself, TK 101. Big Ray's in the house today. We're waiting on Silvio. Just got back from NWA, but I'm the real N1 with an attitude. It's Hacker Hamin, and we're back to light the fuse, infidels. Yalla. Yeah, man. Good to be back. Did the locker room with Steve Areno this morning. Some crazy headlines, but I knew you've been watching AEW with your boy, man, and I like that. I like that, and we've had some conversations of let's get HMG on these phone calls, man. So we got to be up on the product, and I love the initiative my sergeant at arms takes right here. But he's back. He's here to stay. Ida came to play, but it's my man Big Ray. How's it going this morning, buddy? That's right. HMG Hammy Award winning.
Right. Lifetime Achievement Award.
No, I'm serious. I'm dead serious.
I have become Tony Khan's biggest fan. You got Uncle Tony right here. He's actually standing over my shoulder. If you guys are watching on video, just looking over at us in all of his godliness. Just a fantastic man. I am so happy. Let me take this shit off. I'm so happy to be on with you. I have some fantastic news. You want to hear it?
I do. I do want to hear it.
All right. So you want to hear some good news? Because there's been some shit news. I mean, New York is underwater right now. I don't know if people know that.
It's crazy where I am today. It's a beautiful sunny day. People were hitting me up like, Hacker, you going to be all right? I'm like, dude, I mean, I heard Pennsylvania got dumped on, but pretty much where I'm at, it was just a little breeze, man.
Oh,
you know what's crazy here right and storm-wise comparatively? Mosquitoes, bro. It's like a plague. Like I walked Dogs of War on the perimeter the other day and I got fucking attacked. I was like, fuck COVID. I'm going to get West Nile from these motherfuckers out here, bro.
Why not? Why not? Why the fuck not, right? But if you go through the 5 boroughs right now, I don't know if you've seen any of the videos on Twitter and shit, but I mean,
you got to go by a kayak and
bro, the fucking subways are when I say flooded, it looks like Niagara Falls coming down onto the tracks. It's insane. Right. So here's the good news. So in March of 2020, now I want you to do the math of how long this is. This is when Jen, my wife, my wife now, I don't know if people, maybe people don't know. They haven't been watching the Next Level Wrestling Review. And last time they saw me.
Oh, now you know.
Well, the last time they saw me probably might have been with you. So yes, I am married now.
Congrats.
Thank you. And my wife has not worked since March of 2020 because she's a hotel manager, or she was a hotel manager. Here's the cool part. She was a hotel manager, right, dude? And what happened is her hotel became a homeless shelter, so she lost her job. And a lot of people lost their jobs during that time. But here's the cool thing. She was collecting unemployment. She was looking for a job, dude, for so long. The fuck was that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god! Oh, it's my citizen. Let me put this shit on fucking airplane mode. That was incredibly unprofessional. I'm sorry. So anyway, long story short, finally she got a call back this week, which was the last week her unemployment was going to be extended. Mm-hmm. And not only did she get a position, so she's always been a hotel manager, but now her passion is housekeeping. She loves housekeeping. She loves working with the girls and guys and all that stuff. She is now the director, not the assistant director. She jumped from a manager past assistant director. She is now she is the director of housekeeping for, I'm not going to mention the hotel's name, but it's a very, very reputable hotel. And you know what that comes with? The money.
Nice.
I told her yesterday, I was like, babe, I want an iPad. I want some AirPods Pro. She's like, what? I'm like, shit. Anyway, so what's up, man? How you doing, bud?
I'm good, man. Just been in the studio with who you know, Bob Digi, in the studio, and that's no heat on Matt for everything he did, but right now I've been Stevie Ray TV'd the fuck out, because we have a great partnership with A-Star in Houston that we, things happen during the pandemic and how business goes, but we're back on track, and he's got great content, and I'm helping to. Well, I'm doing what Matt did, and Matt did a great job, but that's like 7 or 8 hours extra studio time. And then we also have Amber Neal signing up with A-Star as well. And she's a matchmaker comedian in Houston and a DJ there. And they're going to do a deal with her with HMG Represent. So I have this, and that's thanks to Stevie Ray when they were on Jams together, radio in there. And I don't know, man, there's a lot of opportunity, and I don't really know the ins and outs of Houston. So I'm looking for help on the ground there in Houston, because there's opportunity for us to really expand and grow. So a lot of that's like my side focus, but while managing everything else that's going on, you know what I mean? Beautiful People had a huge week with Ring of Honor and NWA, so I was playing catch up there. The Realm's about to relaunch under a new brand altogether, so that's going to be a big push, and just keep creating. And Conspiracy Horseman, we've got something big to drop, but I didn't want to put it out until everything's right, you know what I mean? So it's just a lot. And then being on the road, I just went and did that show with Rick Vickery. It was awesome for Pro Wrestling Alliance, and Man Beast and Congo Kong was there. Got to work with Shane Taylor. I had a great day with him, and beat the shit out of Amos. So that 4 flights in 24 hours is a motherfucker, bro. I don't care if they're an hour flight or whatever. Like it just beat me up, and played catch up on that. But now I got Buffalo 9/11 at the Donovan Post with BCW, and then 9/18 is Immortal with Ryback and Let Me Holler at You Play at Teddy Long. So big shows coming up, and then the 2 CW reunion shows on September 30th and October 1st.
Awesome.
So I might be going on a honeymoon anniversary, new honeymoon, new wives, celebrate Afghanistan victory, honeymoon anniversary getaway, the 3rd week in September too. So
cool. Well, I mean, the cool thing about Jennifer getting a job is that, I'll miss her, but on my days off, I'll have more time to do shit like this.
Absolutely. I miss working with you, but we had to split and manage how life is. And now we have Brandon on deck with the vet. Vet's been doing a great job with Colin on Impact Attack. So there's another new talent we've added to the fold. And I know people have reached out. I have to go back through my emails because there are more people, and we need more soldiers to up their game, because there just ain't enough of me to go around, Ray,
We need more producers is what we need. But again, like I said, and I'll say it on air, since I'll have more or less 2 full days off, she gets out, probably be getting out of work at 5 or whatever, getting home by 7.
Either work. You just be a house, just stay at home and look beautiful, Ray. That's what you're best at.
I'm fucking trying, bro. I mean, it's hard. Have you ever seen his face? Oh, yes, you have. You slapped
Well,
him.
you work with Vito. He'll give you some good moisturizer tips. You guys can do nails and whatever. You know what I mean?
Now that you say that, the Big Vito brand is growing, ladies and gentlemen, and I am a producer there. So, guys, head over to the Big Vito brand on Patreon, man. Give support. Yeah. They give you a lot of fucking fun talent. They are talented, but they give you a lot of fun content there. So check it out. Listen, Big Vito's a Mets fan. I get it. I get how he can be extremely unlikable because he is a Mets fan, but it's all good. Look past that. You know what? Forget about him. Look at Noelle. She's awesome, dude. Watch it for Noelle then. Is that cool? Was that work or no?
Absolutely. They're both great, man. And actually, while I was there at the PWA show, the Battle at the Border promoter was there. And I think they're bringing Vito in to work in the dress gimmick that way. So, we're all in the same circles, man. Where it's all going down. I keep seeing I forget you're logged in on the back end here. I'm like, I'm not responding, and I see.
No. I'm taking over that. That portion of it, conversating with the people.
About a dozen in the chat now as we wait for Big Sil. He'll probably be here in about 10 minutes, man. But yeah, congratulations to Jen. That's great. You guys on a good new marriage and a hot success promotion right there. That's a great way to start things off. Well, the world is having a tough time. I like to hear about good things happening to good people, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. I'm excited about it, dude. I took an opportunity to come on with you this week because I wanted to do some more AEW stuff moving forward, because I have
we got to add a Rampage show. That's another thing we got to do.
Well, here's the deal, man. My classified chappie, what's going on, my friend? He just jumped in. He's a very, very loyal listener. Mark Robbins is here right now. There's a bunch more. So, guys, fill up the chat, man. Say what's up. But that being said, my son, who just turned 13, was a huge CM Punk and John Cena fan. I've said this on multiple occasions. You have to understand, he grew up in 2008. So John Cena was his Hulk Hogan and CM Punk was his Macho Man. So when he heard that that CM Punk was coming back to AEW, not only him, but I had my nephew, I had friends sending me text messages. Hey, is this a real thing? Is CM Punk really? What is this AEW thing? Is there anybody there I know? So I was even putting up screenshots of all these text messages I was getting on my social media. And I said, you know what, since my son is watching it, let me check it out. And, apparently his favorite tag team right now is Jurassic Express. He loves it. He loves the song. He loves the music. He loves the gimmick. Look, he's 13. From what I understand, a lot of the young demographic really do like this. And I've been watching it quietly week after week, and you're going to be surprised, guys. I'm not bored. And that says a lot because I watch NXT. I watch sometimes Raw. I watch SmackDown every once in a while. And I don't know if I ever find myself bored. Now, I'm not saying it's great all the time. There's some shitty things that we're going to talk about today, in my humble opinion. But I got to be honest, man. What's up, Gam Wolfers? Thank you, sir. I have been interested, to say the least, in this product, man.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I've been watching it since its inception, and there's good, bad, and ugly, but it is a new day with all the new hires, and we'll see how hot it stands. Punk at the end of the day sold out 15,000 seats, and but the thing is, and he probably shouldn't have been on TV till the pay-per-view this Sunday. Instead, he's been on TV 3 times. That, to me, that's not the best way to use them, even though they went back and they're pimping out the Chicago thing. So it's kind of a false positive because, when MSG's here, he's our numbers guy. But when Punk came back, he was 1.1 million. And that's still 200,000 below where their debut of the company was, even though that's up about, 200,000. Then on Rampage, that was Rampage. Then on Dynamite, they were at 770,000, which is a down number. And they didn't even pump that Punk was going to be on Dynamite last week. So, why would you burn that just to do a Milwaukee follow up? Yeah, that was tough. Yeah. Follow up and not make it a big event, not like they weren't pumped, but there's just holes in the promoting of what it is. And that guy's special. So the more you see him every time, it wears a little bit of shine off the nickel, man. You gotta use it the right way, dude. I don't know.
Yeah, I have Mark Robbins in the chat speaking about CM Punk hitting the GTS. When we get there, I'm going to talk about that because it was something that I kind of picked up when he actually. Well, we'll talk about it later on, but I agree with everything you say. At the same time, you have CM Punk there, so how do you not put this guy on TV? People are tuning in to watch CM Punk. I have my son tuning in just to watch CM Punk. Does that mean that CM Punk's going to be on TV every single week?
No. I would have had him that first week, and I would have had the pre-tapes ready to go of what it's going to be, and then you play him there, and that he's going to be at the pay-per-view. Everything is about selling the pay-per-view, and it's if you're giving them the go to sleep and Punk promos on fucking TV, sure he might be talking them into the building, but like I say, the magic is there. That's what we're really selling, man.
Right. And depending on what direction AEW goes moving forward, whether it's, bringing out Daniel Bryan next, when's the All Out? Is it in New York or is it in Chicago? That's in Chicago. When's the big New York show?
September 20th is the big run up here.
So as CM Punk's, the excitement of CM Punk, people start getting used to CM Punk starts to dip. Then you got Danny O'Brien who comes in. And then if you do the math, Danny O'Brien comes in September, right? I'm not saying this is going to happen, but Adam Cole, baby, his 90-day no-compete clause would end around the time the next pay-per-view.
Doesn't have a 90-day. He's NXT. They're only 30 days.
Oh, wow. So he can come in. But, wow.
He'd missed the New York pay-per-view.
Wow. Okay. All right. I didn't know that. So,
well, Hacker's got a trick or two up his sleeve yet, don't he, boys?
So now, well, anyway, I mean, you can still hold him off. You could sign the guy, put him on the payroll, and just say, look, take some time off.
I've also heard Batista is possibly already signed.
You got Braun Strowman potentially coming over to Impact Wrestling. He's supposed to have a big fight. I forgot with EC3. I forgot the name of the pay-per-view. Something about narrative. There's this event that's happening. He and EC3 are going to battle.
Well, they're best friends, bro. Him and Spud and them are all best buds.
Why is EC3 not on either Impact Wrestling or AEW?
I think he's a smart businessman and knows his worth and wants to have creative control. And right now he's doing bodybuilding. I think he was in a bodybuilding competition like a month ago.
I saw that. He looked incredible, dude.
Oh, dude. I mean, the guy's always, when is he not really? But to do that is a whole different weird diet plan to strip everything out. And then, they eat a fucking full chocolate cake afterwards and shit, like the right before to bulk up or whatever. So I'm sure that's a buddy favor, and at the same time, who cares if that's what they can do to paint with the brushes they want to? Then so be it, man. What's going to happen with who? Punk, and then bringing in.
So I said, I'll reiterate real quick. Punk, the heat goes, dies down a little bit, and then you bring Danny O'Brien, and it comes up, and then you bring the heat down a little bit, and then you bring Adam Cole in.
Yeah,
there's a lot of guys, and I know you guys have said this. I listen to Light the Fuse all the time. There's a lot of people on that roster that are not going to get the time unless they do an 8-man tag like the main event. So,
how many weeks are you going to do that shit? And then now you've got more groups of guys when they're not even using the inner circle and the fucking, what's the other guys click, you know what I mean? Well, then you got Bullet Club click, and then you got Death Triangle click, and then you got, it's like, oh my God, bro.
Yeah, well, I guarantee you.
Dark Order.
I guarantee you, Ben, that Rampage will be a 2-hour show by mid-2022.
I guess you got freaking Dark Elevation. It's over bloated, bro.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of shit.
You got to go with Jizza, man. Make your rhymes half short and twice strong, unless you're Max Caster, and then that'll get you fucking canceled.
What a fucking clusterfuck that was, wasn't it?
Well, he was back on Dark this week, but he didn't do no rap, no nothing. So that means they're doing little political tests. And why? Because that's his shtick, and they're taking it away from him. When I see he's not getting to do what makes him. That's a test, and that's a shame, because if that company says that they're something else in wrestling business and they're not going to hold up the old tropes, then why are we getting these same, oh, you'll dance, my friend? Yes, you will.
Yes, you will. Did you see that that Twitter clip? I mean, I could play it later on. It's like 30 seconds long of Tony Khan, the Stomp Fest. Oh, it's gonna be fantastic. You let me know when you want me to play it. It's great.
I mean, it's not great though, man. It makes me sad that nobody is going to protect that guy a little bit,
Oh, Frank's Pickleborough asked 5 inches of water in the basement last night. Poor guy.
Oh, man, that sucks, bro.
I'm so sorry.
I went with the hot water heater breaking, man. I know what you're going through, dude. That's the shits.
But you know what? Frank's Pickleborough ass always makes fun of me and always fucks around with me. So you know what?
Well, his family are great. They came to the Titan shows. Super huge supporters of everything we do, man. Very, very cool.
Hey, you know what? He has kids, right?
Yeah, his 3 lovely daughters.
Dude. Take kids. We got a new pool, and you just take them downstairs, put the fucking rubber duckies.
Yeah, fucking live electrical fucking lines. Yeah, kid, we'll have a good fucking time.
Look, I'm an electric eel. No? All right, whatever. Never again any cardboard boxes. Yeah, no shit.
Gotta get the totes.
Anyway, man. So, is this the first time I've worked with Silvio? This is one of the reasons I wanted to come on, because I wanted to see what it was like to work with somebody so. You're sexy.
He's Fabian.
You're sexy. But
I'm working hard and down another 4 pounds.
Silvio, I'm sorry, but Silvio's on a whole different level.
No, of course he is. That's why I got him.
Whole different level. I mean, you look at the guy and it's like,
What we got over here? A cup of change.
Oh,
A cup of change.
just announced for 2CW, Enzo and Cass taking spots because Godfather's shooting that WWE Treasure show, so they're subbing in.
is Silvio going to call us from the car, like with an iPhone?
No, I think he'd be home in the studio. He's watching the show right now.
I watched it this morning. I DVR'd it. Fucking Jen had to wake up for, it took her, I can't talk. It took her like fucking 2.5 hours to get to work. She had to leave the house at 6:30 a.m. because nothing's running over here in New York City.
Right.
Just the shits, man.
Well, what else AEW wise? I don't want to just sit here and spin wheels. I want to get through the show. I got too much to do during the day.
What?
I got too much to do, Ray. What else AEW wise?
I don't know. Do you have any stories or anything? Any
I
news
don't know.
articles?
I didn't know it was up to me to fucking.
Oh, am I doing this? Okay, so
the con thing was whatever, but
here we go.
It just upsets me that like they won't stop that from happening.
Oh, how could they? Let's be real. Anyway, I don't know if you heard this story. Actually, I do know if you heard this story, but apparently there was a live stream on social media where Daphne, do you remember Daphne?
Yes, dude, yeah.
Yeah, Daphne. She used to be the screaming chick over at WCW, and apparently she threatened to commit suicide, and there was a gun. And I actually followed her. I follow her on social media. I guess that's been taken down, but apparently she's okay. Family is aware of the situation. Do you know? Have you heard any stooges about this or anything regarding her?
Yeah. I mean, I just did locker room, and I'll say now that it's over of what's what, but it's I got hit up while this was going on by HMG clients and saying, hey, we need to reach out and help. And I'm, he's been open about it in the past. People know, but that involves Stevie, and I'm not going to bring drama to Stevie's life ever, as he's one of my closest confidants and mentors. So I wasn't about to be like, let's get involved. And fucking, I've heard that this pattern of behavior, I'm not saying she's in a healthy space or I want anything bad to happen or that I wouldn't feel bad, but I'm also not, I know what fires to go put out. And if someone who's really struggling with that kind of stuff doesn't go on Instagram live and fucking do that, that's somebody who just needs spotlight at any cause,
I hear you, man. I hear you. I mean, listen, man, there's some people out there that really do need the help.
I know. I'm not telling her she needs help. She obviously needs help.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that, but I wasn't about to go over and throw gas on the fire and upset people who don't need to be upset by it when a bunch of other people who are much closer to her than I am can handle the situation. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a hard thing all the way around to deal with, but I do hope she's fine. I hope she gets the help she needs.
Well, I mean, you can hit up your boy. You can hit up our boy, John Enright, if you guys have any issues regarding, suicidal thoughts, so on and so forth. He does have a lot of good people that he knows that can help you through that. So I do have another story here I wanted to talk about before we jump into NXT, but I see we have like the sexiness in the room has just gone 12-fold, not 10.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, the temperature just kicked up. Good morning, Sil. Good afternoon, Sil, I should say. How are you, buddy? Welcome to Light the Fuse.
Good afternoon, boys. I'm awesome that Big Ray's joining us here today on Light the Fuse. I'm tired as fuck. After 5 days in, where the hell were we? St. Louis?
Yeah.
I watched Dynamite. It was a hell of a show. So I'm excited to talk about it. And most of all, I'm excited to catch back up with you. I mean, I feel like it's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, man.
We've really chatted. So
yeah, we're gonna do it big time. I do got a heat on you right out of the gate though, because I was looking at playback on stuff, and when Jenna comes in and sits on the medicine ball and does it, and she's looking right at the microphone, the sound is flawless. So I'm pretty sure you have a cardioid pattern microphone, and it has to be directly in front of you, because if it's off to the side even a little bit,
It's what did you call it? Dynamic mic, like this one right here. Talk right into it. No,
How
actually
about this,
aim it
boys?
much better, but check it out. Aim it like straight at your face. Like point it.
you want to give it a big old
I don't know if you know Colin Weissong, but he's used to having things in his face like that, and he's just right in his face usually. So
I don't know Colin, but I guess I'll have to call this
that is perfect, right?
Vince Russell style here. I feel like a commentator.
Yeah, I mean, if you can angle it like legit straight to your face, that'll be great. But you know what? This is the first time, Sil, that I think you and I have been on a program together. Is that right?
Yes. I did something with you a while back, but this is the first time we've co-hosted a program together. I think you were interviewing me at some point in time for a show you were affiliated with.
Shit, I think you're right. That must have been a long time ago. That must have been like the genesis of what we do here, right, Ben?
Yeah, so many shows all the time, man. But
many
us always find each other. How was it getting to see Timmy Baltimore? We tried to do everything we could here at HMG this weekend with promotion and good faith, and I'm pretty sure it was recognized by those there, and it's not why we did it for recognition. We wanted success for those we care about, you and obviously Jenna, Timmy, and Velvet and Idol. Rachel Cullen.
That's fine.
But yeah, so we were just trying to do everything social media wise. I think it was a as much help as we could do,
Thank you. Thank you guys.
I'm sorry.
For that.
Yeah.
If you want to take that call, you can silence your thing, and me and Sil can talk a little wrestling over here.
Let's go ahead.
All right, cool. Sil, check this out, man. Have you been watching the NXT product at all? You know, you can hit the mute button too.
Here and there.
Right.
I was a big fan of NXT. Over like the last year, I haven't been watching as much. I do keep up to date with it.
All right, very cool. So did you hear that Vince McMahon, according to WrestlesThink.com, backstage details on Vince McMahon reportedly producing NXT. So now here's the deal. NXT is a taped show. We all know this. So it was reported yesterday. Now this article came out today, so it was reported on the 1st. That WWE chairman and CEO Vince McMahon and senior vice president executive fucking Bruce Pritchard, will be producing the NXT brand. The idea is to give the brand a complete revamp with the cool fucking, gimmick logo with the rainbow and shit all over it. And they're going to go live, pal, September 14th. Silvio, that's going to fix it, right? Huh?
Of course.
Okay.
Man,
sure.
Alvarez has gone out and vehemently denied this, but there's been scuttlebutt for months that Vince has had something to do with NXT programming of the last year, which does coincide to the time frame where I started watching the show less and less.
Right.
I think Triple H and Shawn have had a huge part in what we see in the matches in the ring, but I've just noticed over the last few months with the promos, the backstage segments becoming more and more Raw-esque. But now it's number 3.
It's got a little Mr. Roboto there. Or is it just me, Ben?
Yeah, and he said, but now it's the number 3. So, okay. But hey, dude, I'm
Raw
gonna put
number 3.
More like number 2.
Yeah. I'm gonna put your feet to the fire because one of Jenna's best friends is Mercedes Martinez, right?
Yep.
Yes. I know that.
So what's the inside stooge now that she's gone and the heat can't come back down of what it was, what really went down there? Because, dude, I remember they were like, oh, it was a great positive environment when Canyon Seaman and Vince and everybody showed up. And if they're that clueless that their assholes didn't pucker up the size of a pencil, fucking, that this is chopping block time. And now that you're going to have the number 1 stooge running it and a guy who tore up the script on Monday at 6 p.m. and had one of the worst Raws ever, he's not going to take care of Raw. He's going to come handle the kids who need to fucking actually be babied and need a chance to grow. And before you're presented to him, he's going to handle that. He's he's going to plant the seeds as well as harvest and fucking and serve it up to as everything now. Come on, man. Like farm to table, I don't see this working out at all. And what's the inside stooge from the fucking high level NXT players who are still either in the bubble or on their way out of it?
So unfortunately, I don't have any grand revelation in regards to that.
Lies.
Other than what's already come out about they don't have a desire for older performers. They now don't have a desire for independent talent. I mean, they're going back to 2009 FCW, where they're just going to try to create monsters, and we'll see how that works. It reminds me
how to work out for them then. How to work out for them then.
Well, you were present before WWE parted ways with OVW. I remember we had Triple H and Shawn Michaels come down. Pritchard may have been there.
Yes, a meeting.
And I remember, people asking questions. And on a Tuesday, I think Al Snow said something like, guys, we're staying here. Nothing's happening. Then the following day, 24 hours later, we're all in a talent meeting where they announced we're moving. Al said he's getting fired. WWE's no longer here. And all of us were like, oh, fuck, what do we do now?
Yeah, I do remember that very well. It was me, Lagana, and Pritchard in the meeting for me to fucking get the introduction made guy shit, and it was a struggle with Lagana ever after that for some reason. But yeah, man, that was also when Kern came and took 360-degree pictures of OVW, and then they took all the banners, they took everything, bro, to try and start FCW. Him and Ace, I don't know what deal they did to stab up Al and Danny behind the scenes or who they had to convince, but that same thing is happening right now. To Deuce is doing that to Game and Road Dogg and HBK. So are they going to be on their way out? And like, what does that even look like at Sunday dinner, bro? You know, it's a crazy, crazy time. And why, if you're ripping up, what is the Raw writing team working on all week long? And then it gets to 6 p.m. and this guy does some fucking King Lear madness shit, bro, and is ripping up scripts. And then we do a house show. I knew that happened based on the first segment of watching Raw, bro. And that's where we are right now. I go, somebody tore the script up at 4. No, it was 6. He waited till 6 to do it this time. Then he goes, who hasn't paid their dues? Okay, then your name's off the list and you're off the show. Alexa Bliss, you didn't pay your dues. You're fucking gone. Like it's ridiculous. Who sold the most tickets gets to be in the main event. I think that's going to be the theme of the next show, bro. Of course, Silvio's looking swole, bro.
Thanks for everybody out there commenting on the guns here in my NWA Power shirt. I mean, I like to find the brighter side of things.
Please, I don't know the brighter side ripping up the script at 6 p.m. of her 3-hour live show. I cannot wait to hear the silver lining on that.
Here's what I can tell you. I don't know what they're doing over there. I don't know what happens to NXT. I hope it's not bad, but I do know this. After being at NWA for 5 days, seeing what they're doing over there, the response it got, the talent that's there, seeing AEW's ascent recently into possibly becoming the #1 act within the next year. I think it's whatever's happening over there is clearly good for the rest of the industry and all the places where we all dwell and where a lot of our peers that have either been through WWE or not, are coming to prominence. So let them do what they're doing. It seems to be doing nothing but helping the rest of the business. So if tearing up scripts at 6 or getting the boys and girls more jobs, fucking tear away, boys.
I don't see that ending well, but tear away they shall. Man, let me see if I can get to the show here.
I gotta ask you one thing, and then I'd like to make a comment after this, if that's
First of all, we're super proud of Jenna, and she did a great job in that match. I loved a lot of the characters in that match.
Yes, it was really good. I might as well jump into it because I did want to comment on it. NWA Empowerrr was Saturday. It kicked off the week of events, and it was the first. What was really cool about it was that women's show Empowerrr was the first show from the Chase in 37 years. So I was expecting it to be Aping or NWA 73, but it was really cool that the women got that slot to be the first wrestling that you got to see there in 37 years. And I was so impressed with the way they all delivered top to bottom. You know, I'm backstage and I'm seeing the matchups and what they have. And you know, Hamin, as being somebody that's produced shows, when you have so many people of varying experience levels, skill levels, you know, in your mind, you're like, oh man, this person's got to lift the weight, and I hope the other person steps up.
Sure.
I can say every single one of those women, and this is politics aside, just being an observer, a fan of women's wrestling, they fucking stepped up and knocked it out of the park. And,
I think everybody knew what an opportunity that was. You know,
yes,
nobody was resting like and acting like they were over and they were owed. Everybody there was hungry as hell.
Absolutely. And that Mickie James promo was good. Yes, it was. And I got to thank Mickie James for being gracious enough to allow me to be a part of the event and contribute, you know, in any way that I could. And I was grateful for the opportunity. So thank you, Mickie, for that. And just congrats to all the women. They just slayed it. Super proud of Jenna, man. I'm watching, you know, I don't want to go too deep into the other stuff. I mean, maybe we could talk off air, but, you know, I was able to help a little bit with, you know, what Jenna was doing and some things that took place in that match. And I was out watching from the crowd, and it was just such a proud moment seeing her hit the ring in a sold out building, first time at the Chase after 37 years. And it honestly, like I've been a lot of places. I've had a shit ton of matches. I will say it was one of the highlights of my career personally, just watching her do her thing and being a part of the whole thing. The week was great, man, but I got to put Jenna over. And I'd like to also thank Billy Corgan before we get into today's show for allowing me to be a cog in the wheel and contribute what I could for the men's shows and the tapings the rest of the week. So thank you, Billy and NWA. It was a great experience, and I appreciate it.
I have a quick question for Sil. You know, being a spectator over there and helping behind the scenes, was there anyone besides, obviously, Jenna, that impressed you or that stuck out to you and you said, you know what, that young lady has something that I can see growing into something amazing moving forward? Anybody that we may not even know that you can actually put over right now?
There's one young lady who's got all the tools that I was glad to see perform, and that was Timmy Baltimore. That's my favorite youngest of the young ladies.
Stop.
Layla Hirsch fucking annihilated it, bro.
Yep. Great young lady that Timmy Baltimore is.
Yeah, he's my favorite young lady.
It was great to see him and work with him. I love the dude. But to answer your question, Ray, yeah, Chelsea Green, Kiera Hogan. There's a Russian independent wrestler, Masha.
She was great. Masha was great.
Yeah,
how about
her last name?
St. Louis? What was the young lady from St. Louis? She was good.
Yep.
Everybody fucking kicked ass. Thunder Kitty was great.
Yep. I got to work
Thunder
with
Kitty.
Tootie quite a bit, and she has
dated a girl
tons of
named
potential.
Thunder Kitty.
Melina did a phenomenal job. I don't really remember Melina as being a worker. I remember her more, you know, as being the manager and, you know, a good promo and stuff. But she did very well at the taping. So there were a lot of impressive women, man.
Yeah, I was just saying.
Yeah.
I think I dated a girl in high school that they call her Thunder Kitty, but it's a whole different thing.
Well, it might have been this one because Thunder Kitty's 100 years old.
Oh, might have been, and I'm like 102, so that kind of works out. But it's good. It's good to see, though. I have to throw out there. It's good to see that, you know, that NWA is giving these women, you know, a big platform, a legit platform, much like Impact Wrestling or TNA did back in the day with Awesome Kong, so on and so forth. Moving forward, you know, there are a lot of great workers or women that can really, really perform that are not getting what they've earned over the course of the last, you know, 5-6 years. And I think this is an excellent time for women's wrestling to get that platform. And I think the NWA, I grew up on the NWA, guys. I grew up 6:05 Eastern Standard Time, WTBS. I grew up watching it on the UHF channel for the kids that under the age of 35 that have no idea what I'm talking about. I would find wrestling from Florida and Georgia and so on and so forth. So this is stuff that I grew up. This is nostalgia for me, but at the same time, the way they produce it, the way it's done, it's excellent. Absolutely excellent. So I look forward to watching NWA, and I watch it quite often on my phone. I think it's great. I think it's great. And the fact that you had the opportunity to be a part of that event must have been awesome, man.
It was, man. One of the best professional experiences I've had. Did you guys get a chance to see the Awesome Kong segment with Jennicide's team with Darren Terrell and Gail Kim?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the emotion of that was so good. I was watching that from the crowd as well. Like, I wanted to see all Jenna's shit from an audience perspective. So I would come out from backstage when she was on to watch and feel that. They did the deal where it looked like they were about to attack Gail Kim. Out comes Kong to just this crazy pop. And I had goosebumps the entire time. And when it gets to the end where Awesome Kong's, bumped out Jennicide's team and Taryn's out of there, Paolo's out of there, and Kong does that emotional promo and hug with Gail Kim. The energy in the room, I believe it translated on TV as well, but the energy in the room was something crazy and special. That's the first time I've had a legit tear come to my eye in wrestling, probably since Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair. It was such a fucking awesome, beautiful moment, 100% real. Just so good. If you haven't seen it, go and watch the whole fucking show, but make sure you watch that segment.
Absolutely, man. I mean, Gail Kim to be the one to be out there, and then the surprise of Kong, those were all great, huge moments, throughout there. And here's the thing, they put their moments in the right place. Like Flair on 73, that was phenomenal. I was popping huge that Flair would not sell or look at the hard cam, and he made the floor cam follow him. Like, his promo is so good. Not once did he square up on hard cam, bro. Like, it's just like whatever. But it was all a great weekend for them. We talked about it a lot on the Monday Locker Room. Go back and give that announcement. But yeah, dude.
I don't mean to interject.
I don't want to turn this show into that, Ray.
Okay.
Yeah, man, for sure.
AEW Dynamite. What the fuck happened? Who was there?
Yeah, everybody.
Did CM Punk do a move?
Some guy named Phil was there.
Yeah, well, we talked about that earlier. Have they done too much with Punk, man, to overexpose him for the pay-per-view? I mean, I know they're back in Chicago still, but he wasn't even announced for Dynamite last week, and he was on the show, so it didn't pop a rating. And then was back on again this week, and Rampage. You got to keep him special. You can't just keep rolling him out there.
As of now, I thought the same thing. As of now, I don't think we're at that point with him, and we absolutely do have to keep him special. I just know that they have to be very careful in what they do on Friday. It's a different story because he hasn't wrestled yet. So we know that when his first match happens, the one at the pay-per-view, the energy is going to be exactly like it was for his debut appearance, because it's something we haven't seen in forever. So we got to make sure to not have him do too much on Friday, especially physicality wise. The segment he was in on Dynamite, which we'll cover, had a little physicality. I probably wouldn't have even had that, just because I'm super conservative when it comes to booking. But yes, you're right. They do have to protect him. I don't think they've lost it yet by any means, but we got to be careful. And he knows that. I don't think he'll let anything fuck up what he has,
But he's hitting the go to sleep and shit before the pay-per-view. I don't know, man. That was a place to feign the violence. He gets him up, goes to do it, and then the guy can beg off. You know what I mean? But
or somebody pulls him off.
Right, but yeah, exactly. And they just escape and be that close, whatever.
Was it me or the CM Punk seemed to have a little issue getting the gentleman up? into that into the GTS. Did you watch that? Did you notice that?
I have to go back and see. I didn't not off the top of my head.
Yeah,
I didn't catch anything.
Yeah, I was watching, because I knew I was going to be on with you guys, so I watched it with a very, very critical eye, just to look at certain things, and I did see there was a little, not that it's a big deal, because it's not easy to lift another man up and put him on your shoulders, but it didn't seem like he got too much help on that one. Leave it that way.
I didn't notice anything, but to kind of play devil's advocate, Lord knows when the last time was that he's picked somebody up for that. And Punk has already come out and said, he's not doing crazy intense in-ring training. He's just staying fit and going to be ready. So that might have been the first time he's performed that move in years.
Yeah, well, maybe he got sandbagged. I'd probably sandbag.
You would definitely sandbag for sure. 100.
Oh, we kick off the shizzo with FTR with Tully and versus Santana and Ortiz. I don't know, man. I mean, this was a super high impact, get your shit in match to start the show off. But after Wheeler got that bad cut, what was it, 4 or 5 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we need the story leading back into this. They just dropped the needle right where they left off, man. Like, not using the reality of an injury that gruesome and or the heat from it to tell storyline wise to set the match up. You want to fucking go? Let's go right now. And Khan's like, you guys want to go? Get out there then. Why aren't we setting this up with just something small in 90 seconds that we could shave off of this match that, I don't know, they were going 900 miles an hour, and at the end it kind of cost them a little bit in the finish.
So I think you might have missed this last week. I'm pretty sure it was last week. It may have been the week prior. They had a VTR segment talking about Cash's injury and how it might be the end of his career. But he wants revenge on those bastards. And if this is it for him, he's going to go out swinging kind of thing. So they did put that over in last week's Dynamite to cover into this one. So we got that story out.
All right. I could have used a little recap at the top of that.
Yep. That's what I was going to say. They could have thrown 30 seconds of that before the match. Sure. But as far as the match itself, this was what I wanted from the first time they faced each other. But we had the freak accident.
But it seemed weird with 4 or 5 weeks in between to come back with that out of nowhere. You know what I mean? In a time dash.
As far as the match, this made my tag team wrestling heart happy. So fucking good, man. Just two of the best tag teams in the world today. Fucking having a great match, all kinds of exciting near falls. And, they did a lot of stuff, but it was never a frantic pace. We had time to sell things. And when the breakups would happen out of nowhere, we'd have a little rest for everybody to pick up for the next thing. I just thought it was about as good as a tag team match can get in 2021. Super impressed and super happy. Fucking awesome way to start the show.
Yeah, I have to agree. Watching a lot of tag team wrestling on NXT, some on Raw, SmackDown, here and there, I found myself to be extremely entertained. I didn't think how can I put it? I don't think they got too much. I mean, they got shit in, but it wasn't over the top. It wasn't like a show stealing, like this should be the main event type match. This was, this was your TNA opener where they used to open up with the X Division, but it was a tag team match, in my humble opinion. Now, FTR, again, remember, I'm new to the product. So now I'm new to the product. I've given it chances a couple of times, right? FTR, this tag team, are these guys just a mid-card tag team? Are they taken serious as a part of the tag team division here ever since leaving the WWE? I know when they came in, it was a big deal. Is it still a big deal now, or is this kind of like a tail end where they move on and maybe go off to another company or Impact Wrestling? Because, I mean, Proud and Powerful, I like that. They're good. They're really, really good. And again, I found myself.
Yeah, dude, but time out. Like, being good is one thing. Ray, you can't compare, even if they want to come out in the fucking makeup and shit, dude, from Dead Presidents, you can't compare what they were doing with Conan and Impact and those pre-tapes to like what we see here. And you know, FTR gets to do a little bit of what they want to be. They roll in an old truck, but then everybody's in a clique or a group, and we almost are the Horsemen and we're not the Horsemen. And then we're this and we're not this. And then we finally just get a tag team match. You know, that fuck the revival stuff a shoot from back in the day? Like, are they being half buried? Some people believe that. I mean, it doesn't matter. They're that good in the ring. So get over it as you can, but everything is kind of start and stop and based on injuries. Sometimes that's the way it is, but these big cliques that never work out. If everybody's in a clique, then not one clique is special at the end of the day. So they are mid-carded kind of, and it's like, get out there and go show what you can do wrestling wise, but there's no storyline, and there's no, even with the ethnicity of Proud and Powerful, like, why are we not picking up if what's already been done at Impact? Like, that's a standard that's been set. That's what these guys should be doing every week, man.
Silvio, you never had a chance to watch these guys weekly on Impact, right? Because
especially with Andrade there and Penta and Phoenix, man. I mean, come on.
That was some great shit, and nobody was watching. That was the sad thing about it.
I did get a chance to watch them, and I did several tapings while they were doing that act with Diamante and Conan, and I fucking loved it. It was great.
Was that Jimmy working on that?
Yeah, Paradise.
So there's dude, that's his tag team partner is Paradise, James Long, for years. And that's why you see fucking, doesn't matter if it's Matt Hardy's Final Deletion, him and Borash. That's when you can take from Training Day and just put it on. You just look at wrestling through that lens, and these guys are the perfect dudes. That the scenes in Training Day when they've got him fucking trapped in the barrio, and like, that's boom. We've got it. Why not go back to that, man? And even if it's your own version of it, that's where they should be operating at all the time.
Hey Ben, didn't some kid get hit by a car?
Yeah,
that was awesome.
That was the best.
It was great.
To answer your question, Ray, about FTR, so they came in hot. But they did a weird angle with the Young Bucks to start, where the audience didn't know who was heel and who was babyface, and FTR was kind of quasi babyface. So it was really odd. Then they won the tag championships right away. FTR, they lost them, and we didn't really see much of them after they lost them until MJF put the Pinnacle together. And FTR had a couple big matches as part of the Pinnacle, and then kind of went back to the sidelines again. I think they should be more utilized. They should be on TV at minimum every other week. I don't know why they're not.
And I don't know why they're not the modern day Four Horsemen.
Yeah, well, I mean, now that Flair's out there, you've got Arn, you've got Tully, you can get JJ anytime you want. Mongo's in rough shape. But yeah, you can anoint them, but you have a roadmap to make it stick. FTR ends up hitting Big Rig on Ortiz. That was nice. Santana leaps off the top rope. This popped me and referee Sideburns because they kind of buried the ref because it was either too fast on the pin. It was like 1, 2, 3, break it up. Oh no, he didn't get him. Knocks Dax back into the pin and stops the count. Wheeler walks into a cutter, and then a super long blower by Ortiz, thrust kick by Santana, double flapjack cover, 1, 2, 3. Your winner is LAX by pinfall. But that's what you want in a big spot opener, I guess. You know, the crowd was way hot for it, and that's what matters.
And Ben, can I just say one quick thing real quick?
Of course you can.
Me watching this again, I've only been watching this a couple of weeks. The one thing that's drawing me into watching this more, and I don't know if it's an effect, like cause and effect thing, but I see how much fun the people in the audience are actually having and how into it they are. And then, like, I watch it with my son, and I see he's fixated. He's not looking at his phone. He's not playing a video game. He's watching what's happening. I'm starting to kind of understand why this is becoming a major thing. Does that make sense, guys?
Well, people want to be in on the ground floor of a new thing, and they'll support it, and that's what they put their passion into. It's when you've got a toxic property, you're just like, again, I got to go to this job. That's 90% of the WWE roster. Back 2.0 talks to Darby Allin about not looking past Daniel Garcia, Parker says they're gonna take away Darby Allin's match against Punk at All Out. Garcia plans on hurting Darby Allin. There's not a shot he's going to All Out this Sunday. Then we get him, the cult of personality himself, Mr. Ice Cream Man is coming. CM Punk heads out to a big pop from the crowd as he makes his way to the ring. He goes, "Are you guys sick of me yet?" And the crowd goes, "Fuck yeah." No, they say no. Punk says he knows Sunday at the pay-per-view his big return could end it all for him. He's nervous. He hasn't wrestled in 7 years. I like that. That was a very improv thing to do to ground a scene. You tell a truth about yourself. That's not a bad truth to tell. Be nervous. I haven't wrestled in 7 years. Hopefully I don't disappoint you guys. But at the same time, he just let himself off the hook. If he has a shitter, that people can go, he hasn't wrestled in 7 years. He'll get it back, you know. But if he nails it, they'll all be going, you still got it. They chanted that, and he should have gone, well, we'll see. You know, he didn't get that one over though.
Well, check this out. Just to be super relatable, I was telling Ben Sil that Jen just started working for the first time since March 2020, and she's done this job for over 10 years, but yet she's coming into this job, you know, nervous and scared and a little, you know, and this is super relatable. So I think CM Punk did do a fantastic job of getting these fans. See, this is a different animal. These fans, I'm starting to notice this too. They want to be able to relate to the competitors, where WWE fans, I think they want to be in awe
and live vicarious. Yeah.
Right. Does that make sense, guys?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, to your credit, I do like that realness that Punk said about, you know, I hope I still got it kind of thing. It reminds me, you're a big Paul Heyman guy. It reminds me of when they were doing the shift from, what was it, Eastern Championship Wrestling to ECW. There's that infamous story of them having a rotten TV taping and Terry Funk coming out after the taping and saying to the audience, guys, I know that one was a little rough. Stick with us. We're going to get it. We'll be there. And damned if that crowd didn't stick with them. You know?
It's the way it goes sometimes, man, you know. Then fucking out comes 2.0 Daniel Garcia run out to attack Punk. I was like, wow. These guys are getting a big fucking push out of the 8. Daniel Garcia and 2.0 and the baddest woman on the planet herself, Jennacide. Congratulations on a wonderful one.
What up?
Yeah,
how's it going?
We're doing good. 3-man booth here today with my man Big Ray, but we were all proud of you this weekend at Empowerrr. It was a great show all the way through on both nights. Great moments all the way around, man. So congratulations on kicking ass.
Thank you for did you watch?
Yeah, of course I watched.
Yeah, who didn't watch? Everybody watched.
It was such an amazing night.
Yeah. 3 people it took to 3 ladies it took to pin the cyborg herself, super strong, but everybody was disappointed in the chats when you went under because they're like, fuck, that's who we want. And like,
I didn't even know that. So that makes me really happy.
Yes, people were hot, like legit hot that you went out.
Well, let's not forget, I was a little banged up going into it.
Yeah, you know, but
someone made her return for a moment. But that was such a special moment, and she whipped my ass, and that was the last big chokeslam of her career.
That's awesome.
So when I think of being involved in that segment and meeting Amazing Kong 7 years ago, for me, it was like a full circle moment of even just being a part of like that for Empowerrr. And then I got to be in the main event as well. So, but yeah, it was an amazing night. I can't even describe going to the back and all of the men backstage clapping when we came back, and just the amount of emotion and energy in the room after the show was over was like nothing I've ever felt, nothing I've ever seen. And it was just really a family and a team coming together and celebrating a moment that was just special, I think, for everyone.
I have a quick question for Jenna. Jenna, by the way, hi, Big Ray.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
I can't hear anything.
Yeah, no problem. So I have a quick question. Now, having a person like Awesome Kong, Amazing Kong, I've been following her career forever, and even watched Glow because she was on the show, which was fantastic. I'm really upset I don't know why it was canceled, but neither here nor there. Having somebody like that in the locker room during an event like that, what did it really mean to somebody like you, who probably I'm going to assume, you know, she had a major influence on what women's wrestling or ladies wrestling or the female competitors in the ring right now today. Like, what did it mean to you actually having her there? That moment, how did it feel? Like, what was the feel in the locker room for the girls back there?
I think everyone was just so joyful. We had not only her, we had Gail Kim, we had Medusa, we had Jazz, we had Mickey James. I mean, I go down the list, and these are women, I can speak for myself, who I've studied their matches, learning the psychology, big versus little, you know, from Amazing Kong and Gail. And these are women I've looked up to my whole career. So for me, having them in the locker room and just, you know, shooting the shit and talking girl talk and wrestling, I mean, you know, you have to pinch yourself for a second and appreciate the moment of who these women are and how they've paved the way. But man, I just try to pick their brain and talk to them like every other sister I do in the locker room. And the fact that they're all so cool and are able to just sit back and chat, like, and they are gracious and give us their time. It means so much to me, you know.
Jenna, you don't have, if you don't want to get into this, you don't have to. But I remember you having a short conversation with Awesome Kong following that. Is there anything from that conversation you would like to share with us?
I'll keep that as a private combo, but it was just something that meant a lot to me from one big woman to another, you know, as it was over.
What was it like to actually get to meet?
I don't think she wants to answer your question, but okay, she's back.
So what was it like to actually get to meet Timmy Baltimore face to face? I mean, that was probably the highlight of the weekend. I know it was for Ric Flair. I mean,
yeah.
Actually, this was the first time Jenna met.
Did she?
No, it wasn't.
Jenna has only known Brent. She's never met Timmy.
Oh, she's
it for Bar Wars.
Baltimore was okay. Yeah. Okay. I did a couple of my shows here.
Yeah.
I
forgot. No, I've met. I love Brent and Timmy Baltimore, whatever. But like, he's just amazing. I was just happy to know he was there.
Me too.
I saw he was there at the last tapings too for me, and he was like my rock I leaned on when Chris wasn't there. So,
oh, he's the best. I just like to rib him for sure. But we're all proud of you. We knew you'd kill it. I watch you. You're standing there getting punched in the stomach in Muay Thai class. I go, I think she's fucking ready to do some phony wrestling.
Oh, yeah. Wait till you see my clip. I have Jazz punching me before I walked on stage. For some of my other matches that you'll see later, I had Jazz hype. I'm like, Jazz, go ahead, punch me. I asked Chris. He doesn't do that shit for me. And believe it or not, I don't even think about it. And I asked Billy Corrigan, like the psycho I am, to do it before I walked out. He's like, that could be an HR problem. I'm like, I am an HR problem. But, but Jazz was woman enough to stand up to me.
Nice. So I'm glad you're having fun and working, getting seen. I know there was a lot of eyes on everybody there this weekend, and nobody dropped the ball. Everybody was hungry and excited for the opportunity. You could feel it, and the crowd was awesome too there and that. So congratulations on being a part of history. You know, absolutely. Proud of you.
Yeah, definitely a special moment in time that it's going to be hard to go to the next one following that. We got big shoes to fill. Trending number 2 against UFC. You got Ronda and Sasha and everyone talking about it. So I don't even know. We got to follow that now. The bar is set.
I think so. Ronda Rousey could be inbound. There's no doubt about it. I would love to see Jennacide versus Ronda Rousey. Muay Thai. Half shoot work. Fuck.
There you go. Anytime.
Hamin, on behalf of myself and the lovely Jennacide, I do want to thank you and the HMG fam in the audience for supporting her the way you did, supporting the show. Sure, it means a lot to us. Our listeners here have been so awesome with telling people they want to see Jennacide following her journey. So, thank you, Ray. Thank you, all the crew and all the fans. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, it doesn't go unnoticed. I see all your appreciation posts, and you know, it means a lot to me to have people like you guys in my corner.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we're there. When the best will always find each other, no matter what level it happens at. That's just the circle that we roll with, and you know, we're absolutely going to support all the way to the top. There's no doubt about it.
And I just wanted to say before Jenna runs off, if you can still hear me, I've been following your career for about 2.5, almost 3 years. And this is coming from a non-locker room perspective, so on and so forth. But I've seen the evolution of who you've become And it's so cool to see somebody like you, who I know for a fact has worked so hard to get where she is now, only to know that there is so much more to come, and you're going to get so much better. So from a person who appreciates what you've done for the business and what you've done for yourself and what you've done for the people that support you during these last couple of years, I just wanted to say congratulations and good luck, because you're going to be doing some really cool
Big Ray
things.
must know I'm not a crier, because thank you. Stuff like that means a lot. I'm
No,
big,
it's real.
but man,
It's real.
I'm a crier, especially after this past week. As you could hear my voice, I think I was so excited for Empowerrr in '73. I used all the voice I have, so forgive how I sound. But thank
You want me
Big Ray.
to heat on the women and change the tone? They're out there, these veteran women, some of them, and the emotion gets too much for them, and they go, I'm not good at cutting promos, or I don't have the words to say. I go, it's your moment. You better have the words to say. I was getting hot. I mean, I know you girls are having a great time. I'm going, God damn it, there goes that bus as far as missing it. I mean, we're living in it, so we're getting to see the reality of it, and it's not wrestling. But be goddamned, did you ever hand Ben Hamin a mic and he goes, I don't know what to say right now. Forget about that, bro. I was ready to promo some veteran women this weekend after a couple of those spots.
That's funny. I know what was funny is they said an amazing how come you never really liked to cut promos before? That was fucking amazing, right? Her ice cream bar line was fucking amazing.
Yeah, good
Sorry,
stuff.
F-bombs.
Speaking of fuck it, I mean, it's all about CM Punk. Forget the women, baby. 2.0 kicks the shit out of them. Darby and Sting come to the ring to make the save, and they kick the shit out of the under mid-card guys to get over. But what was good about this was not Sting's trophy promo, but the show don't tell of the back and forth between Punk and Darby, really locking eyes and making that moment. They would cut back a little bit while Sting did his thing. So that was the front end load. But the best acting we do is when we say nothing at all. And that was it right there. So I like this little moment here.
And I was almost scared. Silvio, I don't know if you thought this too. I was almost a little scared they would shake hands. I didn't want them to shake hands. I wanted them to just kind of do that whole stare down thing and just be like, all right, we're going to fight. And that's what they did.
So would you have done this based on that tension, that gunfighter showdown? Have Darby start to take Punk takes a first step forward. Darby starts to rush in a little quicker. Sting coolly comes in between them and keeps cutting his promo to be in the middle there without going, boys, calm down. I think we could have taken it up one more level on the ladder there of the tension of, it's going to collapse. No, it's not with Stinger here, boys, and not here.
I like when they get real. Someone just needs to get real close and look them in the eye. Like,
let me touch my nose to your nose. What did you have for lunch today?
I always go, that's right. That's peanut butter.
They call her peanut butter. She's easy to spread.
I agree with you there. I mean, they could have milked that a little bit more, and I love the tension between Darby and Punk. I was hoping we didn't get a handshake, and we did not. Only thing I'm iffy about in this is having Punk sell for 2.0. I don't think it was the place for it.
Yeah.
2.0's been impressive. They did a great job at getting themselves over.
That's a huge up, right? That's a huge
yeah. They're all super talented, but think about it. They jumped Moxley and Kingston. They lost twice. They jumped somebody else. They jumped Sting and Darby. They lost to them. So these guys have lost to all these top guys. They keep jumping, and now this time they jumped Punk. Granted, he ends up getting his finish in on him and everyone was happy. I don't know if I would have had Punk selling for that. In fact, I do know I would not have had Punk selling for them.
Right. You just see him come and duck one or even push Darby out of the way, duck one, take one, and square off. I thought we were getting a shitty 6 match, so I'm glad we didn't.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Then we get video package hyping AEW World Champ Kenny. Ross says he's been able to keep the title for so long because he's that damn good.
Chance to watch the show if you want to head back.
And then it's Christian talks about it. Paul White talks about Christian's already pinned Omega for the World Champ.
Thank you, Jennacide.
Give her a follow, you guys, on Instagram at Jennacide
000.
You guys. Tony Schiavone has a sit down with MJF, and he gives them a less than thrilled introduction. MJF says Jericho's evolved for 4 decades in pro wrestling, had an amazing career. He said it won't be easy to fill Jericho's shoes, but Jericho needs to look in the mirror. He's in a downward spiral. Tony goes to say something, and MJF stops him. He knows Jericho's addicted to the spotlight and will do anything to keep it, even putting his career on the line on Sunday. He's putting an end to one of the greatest pro wrestling careers ever. I thought this was a good promo.
Excellent.
He's right in character, right where he needs to be, playing right through the camera. Shivani does his bit of disgust to get it over. It's good.
I thought Shivani sold this too, by the way. I'm sorry, Sil. I thought Shivani did a great job at selling how despicable it is to sit next to this guy. That was great. I'm sorry, Sil. Jump in. I'm sorry.
You're good. This wasn't a good promo. I mean, this was the best MJF promo in AEW so far.
Wow.
Phenomenal. I think he hit the peak of emotion. Sometimes MJF is such a good actor that we could tell he's acting in the promos from that bearded background.
Sure.
This time it felt like he was coming from the fucking.
Well, it's pre-taped. It's pre-taped too, so he might have done 2 or 3 takes, and I can get that way too on a couple things. I like to nail it in 1 or 2, but if I'm not feeling it, I'm trying to get too wordy. I know that I've got it about in my 4th or 5th take. I'll finally settle in, and I think this might have been that. That's the beauty of pre-tapes and doing what the fuck you want to do, and nailing it, sticking the landing. Let's see, Orange Cassidy versus Jack Evans. These are weird to me, bro. Jack Evans out of nowhere has got a match on Dynamite. Like,
can I say something? I know Jack Evans has been in the wrestling business for 2 decades. I know of him. I've never watched a lot of his matches, but I got, again, new to the product, right? I'm like, wow, this guy must have really heavily been influenced by RVD. And in my mind, I'm calling him RVE the whole match. But you're saying that this gentleman has not been on TV much.
He was originally with the company. I mean, he's been, like you said, a veteran, but he'd be on the undercard shows, or one of them got hurt and his partner, and he's got a tag partner. So now he's working singles out of nowhere. It just doesn't make sense as the right guy. And as good as Jack Evans is at crazy high spots, his basic selling into things is almost non-existent. It was getting me hot in this match, still, of like, he'll just sit there and wait like for the fucking slam, and he's not coming up on the cell doing any of the little character shit in between, doing a check of where, like he got slammed. He sell up with the back end of the next thing. Just turn. I'm standing here. He came into the ring. He's standing there waiting to take the crossbody, just staring at him. Like, instead of sell around, take your time. To me, that comes off as real amateur. I don't care if you can hit 450s onto a garbage can all day long, bro. If you can't sell up, turn around, sell your back on a rock step, and then get ready to take the crossbody, you're killing the illusion. Like, why are you taking any bumps if you're not going to sell them?
To respond to both of you, it would take way too long than we have in this show to go over Jack's history in AEW. We'll just say he has not had many, if any, televised wins at AEW in quite some time, if not ever. To your part, Hamin, I agree. There was one spot in particular I wrote down where Jack Evans took this crazy bump to the floor. He missed something in the corner and like backflipped out of the corner to the floor. I was like, God, that was the fucking damnedest looking thing. And 2 seconds later, I look and he's gotten back in the ring and is running a high spot with Orange that ends in a DDT. And then Orange did a dive. And I'm just thinking, man, Jack should have I think Jack Evans is a great worker. Let me start by saying that. But if Jack would have just sold that wicked, awesome gymnastics bump he took, Orange fires up, hits the dive, yay, throws him back in the ring, and then they get into that little high spot. Cool. It's just the placement of things were a little bit weird. And I see what you're saying. And I think this applies across the board in many wrestling matches today. More selling is better.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Just to be in between, because you do all that other stuff that's so phenomenal. Like, I'm glad he's on the show because I'm not doing that shit, But in between, take the half second that it takes to do that, where you're not loading up fucking ammo and you can catch a breath, and now you're being able to do it all. Character, be in the right spot, right footwork, and do the incredible high spots. That's a top pro. Somebody who's just doing the high spots and not doing any of the shit that makes it believable in between, it drives me nuts, man. Like, that's I don't know.
And
But
I'm sorry, and these are the things that turn off traditionalists, like people like me that grew up in the 80s who my dad was a worker, my father wrestled, you know, growing up watching this, you know, in the front seat, watching my dad or even watching it on TV, this turns you off. Because I remember my father was a heel, and when he got hit and he would sell that he was hurt, the people went crazy. People loved it. They loved watching my father get beat up. So that's something that turns off the traditionalists. That's why I said that this group of fans, this fan base is a different animal than what you would get from WWE or SmackDown and stuff.
Yeah. What was interesting about this, I mean, was that we got the finish, a small package during picture-in-picture.
Yeah,
I don't think we've ever gotten that.
That was the biggest what the F during this. We come back to out of picture-in-picture, and the match is over with what's going on in the ring. They did the roll-up during the commercial, man. What does that say about both these guys on priority? It's either bad production, bad timing of how long their commercial break is, and unless somebody got hurt and they had to take it home, then I get it. But to come back, confusing to the audience at home. We're like, did they just do that? But Orange Cassidy during the commercial break via pinfall.
What it made me think was just that wasn't the most important thing.
It wasn't
about the match. The match was a setup for what happened after the match.
Right, post match. But that's the problem.
Right.
The fucking pin is the most important part of the match.
Agree.
Right? So there's no excuse, in my opinion, that would justify that aside from an injury during commercial where they had to take it home early. Post match, Hardy runs out to the ring and attacks Cassidy from behind. He looks to finish off Orange Cassidy with Leech, but Yuta and Taylor stop that. Then HFO runs out, beats up Taylor and Yuta. They got to beat up Cassidy, outruns Jurassic Express. All three of them, baby faces up, clear the ring. So hype video versus Miro versus Eddie Kingston at All Out. Hype video for Moxley and Satoshi Kojima. Both very well produced. Kingston does a great here's what I like about Kingston's work. He looks at a guy, Miro's talking about heaven and talking to God. What's the yin and yang of that? I'll make you walk through hell. It's not like he has to be a Satan worshiper. He just does it with his words. That sets Miro up for the rebuttal, gets a sex joke in, talks about God, segment's made. It's that fucking easy, boys. That's good stuff to me. Like, especially when you're not trying to outdo CM Punk and just take care of your little business. Moxley's thing was putting over Kojima, and we just get kind of a best of, of him of that way. So they build the hype for him. Thought these were two good pre-produced segments. So,
and we found out how to beat the unstoppable Miro. I was telling you guys a couple weeks ago how much I loved, believe it or not, his match with Fuego del Sol on Rampage. The quick DDTs at the beginning, then Miro killed him. Eddie came right out and said it. I found the chink in the armor, the neck. What's up with your neck, bro? What's up with those DDTs? Now I know how to beat you. That's smart, genius storytelling. That's why Eddie's a fucking master at promos.
And Eddie's working on his body, too. You can tell he's lost the weight. Now he's just got to start putting on the size. I'm sure some people in Florida can help him.
Yeah, I mean, we got good water. We always got sunshine, so it's like photosynthesis.
Beautiful. It's beautiful. You like these two, Big Ray, these two pre-tapes, interesting style, and I think they both worked.
Yeah, I thought they were great. And yes, I agree. Eddie Kingston is possibly the best talker in wrestling right now. He's just really real. Him and MJF, they're just real. They come across as not unscripted, just talk. Even if they are scripted, they speak into the camera. They speak into reality. They're fantastic, man. I love them both. And Miro, remember now, listen, guys, I haven't watched Miro really much since WWE. This is a different Miro. I like this. And I like the religious connotation that he's using behind it. And yes, the whole light and dark and how somebody good can use black magic it's great, man. And this was excellent. Both segments fantastic.
JR's in the ring to speak with Jericho. He actually puts over that he's got something to warn Jericho about. He says, why is there such a serious stipulation against MJF? Jericho pops the crowd with some cheap blue. He's a piece of shit. And he says MJF's arrogant. The only thing he has over Jericho is 3 victories. Well, I guess that's something. He says those dates are burned in his brain and he needs a win. That's why he did that, to get the stipulation to get another match. He's never been complacent, sure, but he could win more titles and have more matches. But every time he looked in the mirror, he'd remember losing to MJF over and over. I like that he takes that as a motivator, fucking hangs the sort of Damocles over his head kind of, and that's the story here. But you're gonna have the best you've ever had. I'll see you Sunday, you little prick. And then he shakes Ross's hand, paces around the ring for a moment, looking at the crowd.
Sil, do you agree that this makes more sense than when Roman Reigns was like, I'll leave Raw or whatever if I lose to John Cena? Because Roman Reigns isn't going to retire anytime soon. Chris Jericho is at a point where he could retire, where he could take a year off or a couple of years off and go with Fozzy. And so he could, in fact, lose this match. Do you agree?
Yep. And here's the difference between the two is that nobody expected Roman Reigns to lose. This was a very high-level promo by Jericho. One thing AEW does consistently well since day one is their stipulations. For this match, Smart Money would tell me, like, being somebody that is produced and laid out shows, would tell me, okay, Jericho wins this. But because of the way they've built it, because of the way they stuck to stipulations in the past, just me being a viewer of AEW, I can't call it. And that's what makes a great match. I don't know. I can't come out here and say with confidence that Jericho is going to get his win back. I think it's 50-50. He might win, or that could be the end of him, and that's what AEW does so well. I mean, can you call this one?
I would give it to Jericho. I wouldn't have him lead.
So would I, but can you call it and say that that's what they're going to do?
Yeah, I would. I would say so. I think the hype's there, and I think it's smart. I mean, I don't see him like going out on a summer tour. The only thing is that he's going back to WWE, which there was a rumor of that a while ago.
I believe his deal's up in October, possibly, or early next year.
So you've been you always say the threat of violence. Well, the threat of him leaving is a reality, which makes this very hard to call. I agree with Sil.
Yeah, it's possible and probable. Why not? Why not hang him up? I mean, what else is there for him to accomplish?
And now with Punk and Bryan coming in, they needed him and his star power to start with. Right. Now he could breathe easy and go enjoy his life. You never know.
You're right. He could go under, but I put him over. Powerhouse Hobbs with Hook versus Brian Cage. Taz on commentary of the match. I mean, these guys are big, badass son of a bitches, and they are going back and forth at it with not too many spots, I guess, comparatively to how they used to wrestle. But Cage is getting beat up, finally lands some strikes to get back into it. Cage hits an exploder on Big Man. Big shots in the corners, German suplexes, falsies, spine busters, fucking F5s on everybody. But then in the end, Hook does the jump up on one side, distraction spot on the ref, fucking shoot him off. Ricky Starks on the outside, FTW, belt to the head, get down, play coy for the camera. Cage's rock feeds back into Hobbs, hits him with the big fucking snake. It's 1, 2, 3, Hobbs up. So I've run this finish 100 times. It works almost every time. But I don't know. We're burying refs left and right out here.
Yeah. Just really quickly, this is my first time watching Will Hobbs in the ring.
Yeah.
And I thought he was, I don't want to use the term great. I thought he was really good. How long has he been in the business, guys? Do you know?
I believe Hobbs has had close to 10 years, if not 10 years. Seasoned.
Shows it. The guy he's got, and I like his, I always talk about, the facials and the way they sell things with their face. And I thought Hobbs was real. I love Brian Cage. I've known Brian Cage for quite some time now, but Hobbs is he's a guy that they can, if they ever would to lose Brian Cage, that's a guy that can fill that spot. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I like Cage a lot too and think he's super talented. But to be honest, I think Hobbs might be outdoing Brian Cage even now. So it doesn't matter if they do or don't lose Cage. Hobbs was an underneath guy, and one day he got a match on Dynamite against a big guy like a Moxley or something. And I remember Hamin and I looking at each other being like, holy fuck, who is this dude Will Hobbs? Jesus, they need to sign him. 2 weeks later, he signed and he's going. So Hobbs knows his shit. Was Starks hiding under the ring? Because I will note that Hook came out in leather pants this week. But I didn't notice Hobbs and Ricky Starks until the finish. Was he hiding under the ring the whole time?
I think he came out. He came down the ramp. They just didn't shoot it, and I think they made reference to it, and then did the fucking deed with the title and sat down. Which I don't know. I don't know if I like it.
And that belt shot to the head looked really good too, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was good. Because I was thinking on this, and what do I do that's different? Like, if I was really a heel, like, that's I am, like overdoing it, like he should have rolled in the end and gone right over to the ref and been like, I slipped on the mats over there. Somebody needs to fix that, and like even try and cover his tracks that why he was over there. Like, just another egregious bullshit heel reason. So any fans at ringside be like, he's fucking lying about that. You know what I mean? Like, just we take one more small, like, he did it. He was there, but he's going to go talk to the ref to talk and bitch about something else about over there, to do a misdirection on the misdirection on the misdirection, leave him farther away.
He could have been selling his neck too. I got neck problems. This is unsafe.
Yeah, and now because isn't that gaslighting? You change the argument of fucking.
I'm coming after all of you.
I'm going to sue you, and then now the ref's worried about not the finish, but being sued for fucking libel.
I know how you feel about the match, Ben, but you have not addressed the elephant in the room. How would you rate Hook's leather pants?
Japanese. I don't think Hook can pull off leather pants. I got to go 4 out of 10 on that one. I don't think Hook's old enough to be wearing leather pants. I don't think it's the right look for Hook.
I wore leather pants this week. I'm 37 years old with a beard.
Born in leather. You had leather diapers, bro.
How old is that kid?
19.
19?
Yeah.
He looked younger than
winner, Powerhouse Hobbs, be a fucking super F5 gimmick or whatever it was. Malachi Black says he didn't leave the ring last week and Lee Johnson jumped him at the end of Dynamite. Black says he decided when they fight, not him. Oh, clever. Black says Cody, Brock, and Arn were granted swift deaths, but that will not be the same for Johnson. Oh, boy. They're dead. Cody, fucking them are dead. All right. Yes. In the ring, QT's with I Got a Brewski, Aaron Solo, and other trainees from the factory. He calls out Paul White, wants to talk man-to-man. White, Big Wig at a show, comes out. They try to jump him, but Big Show goes over on him, gets shoved away. Then White clocks a few of them and choke slams one of them, one of his sons, Aaron Solo, I believe. And
Aaron Solo.
Yeah. Solo tries to leap off the top rope, gets swatted out of the air. That was good. Then Gun Club comes hitting the ring. I thought it was Billy Gunn's kid. Billy Gunn hits the ring, slides in like he's 19 years old, bro. Comes right up, ready to fight. Ha-cha. Looks great, obviously, on the B12 as well. Kids look good. And heels powder. One thing, though, when the QT he does a jump up and goes over to, like, square off against Billy, and Billy has to pie face him to push him down. QT didn't drop down. I think he was scared because he had something in one hand and he was off balance. But he shouldn't have got a hand on there. But Billy's like, I'm this close. I got to fucking do something, bro. And you could see they're like, QT was a little shook by it. But then the Gun Club turns on Big Show while he's got his back turned in a good heel turn here. Beat the shit out of him. And QT doesn't give the impression that they were in on it. He's just kind of like stunned that, like, hey, fuck it. They're throwing him a beating. Okay. He's softening him up for me. So the questions abound are they working Gun Club with Nightmare Factory? Did QT call it in? Probably not. But where are they going to go from here? Is it just Gun Club making a name for themselves? It was good, like, unanswered questions, cliffhanger right there on a heel turn. I like this. So
this was very well done because when the Big Show just beat up all of Nightmare Factory. So when Gun Club hit the ring, I was like, why the fuck are they out now? Big Show already beat everyone up. What the fuck are they going to do? So when Billy Gunn has the chair and all of a sudden whacks Big Show in the back with a good chair shot and then gave him a chair shot upstairs, Big Show goes down selling. I was like, holy shit. I didn't know what was happening and why, but in a good way. Instead of like, why the fuck are they doing this angle? Like it was exciting.
The best thing about pro wrestling has always been when it's unpredictable. And this was totally unpredictable for me. I had no idea that this was going to happen. So this was cool for me.
Yeah, I agree. This was a good little seg right here. In a seg that normally might be, I don't want to say throwaway, but undercard, mid-card. And I'm not trying to call Big Short Billy Gunn that, but with the students and whatnot. But this actually invested some of the biggest emotion in storyline that we now have. So once you can get, as we've seen in all great dramas, the storyline for each character level going low to high, and they all have their own little journey that they're on, and they will cross and interweave. This is the type of work that needs to be done in order to make those huge moments later where when worlds intersect, they can intersect at the right time. And this person's storyline can set one thing in motion for another one that we've been following. And we get a beautiful moment that will happen that normally we can never get close to in WWE in 2021. So very improv kind of first act to me. I hope it plays out the way I dream it to. Britt Baker talks with Schiavone about the women's battle royal with Jamie Hayter and Rebel in the back. I mean, Jamie Hayter and Rebel looking great. If they win, she's in a good place as champion. Then she jokes about the biggest free agent signing in AEW. Who is it?
Her.
It's her. Not her man, Adam Cole, baby, but she puts it over that now she's going to have or Statlander's going to have a match with Rebel and Hayter for her to soften her up. Hopefully she doesn't get injured. And I go, well, hopefully she doesn't injure herself more than anything before the pay-per-view. So Rebel and Hayter versus Statlander on Rampage. Good little hype to give you a match for Rampage. Good little business right there. I liked it. This was good. DMD at the end. Whatever.
I somehow missed this, but along with Miro, Rebel, and Britt still remain my favorite act in the company.
Okay, good. Yeah, well, I like how they one up each other. Hayter looks great. Go ahead.
From what I see from the dentist, I like her. She's good. And again, believable. Again, real. And didn't have to do too much. Didn't have to scream in the mic. Didn't have to cut some elaborate promo. Just put herself over. She was able to kind of get the marks out there, the people that want to see her husband in the company, to get them like, what did she say? Who's getting signed? She did all of this business, and then she got her the DMD over with the fans chanting and everything like that.
Yeah.
Fucking perfect.
Yeah, it tied in the smart mark business. A new signing, everyone's like, is it going to be him? And they played the fiddle the right way to make him dance. Penelope Ford with the Bunny versus Ty Conti. Hey, you want sexy? This is the sex appeal match right here, boys. The Tape Trader Masturbators are not turning the channel on this one, as Bunny and Penelope Ford come out looking right out of Playboy, bro. I mean, too bad in the woke culture, even though we have Pornhub, that the Playboy deal isn't still a thing in building women, because AEW could have taken that deal from WWE with these women, these three right here, bro.
I just want to jump in and say that I've never seen Tay Conti wrestle before, and she's a good wrestler. I like her a lot.
She's a black belt shooter.
She is, she's really good looking. Can I put it that way?
Oh yeah, no, sure.
Very
go to her Instagram. She takes all the Insta ho shots, bro.
Now the other young lady she was wrestling, who was she wrestling again? Tay Conti versus
Penelope Ford.
Again, watching this match again with a very critical eye, trying to do my job. Watching it, there were little sloppy spots. It looked like is Penelope Ford a little sloppy in the ring at times?
Dude, this is just, you have green girls on there. I mean, I'm down with Pepper and Cherry since 2CW, obviously, and it's not that Cherry or Bunny, whatever you want to call her, Allie, can't wrestle, but she's better in the role of a valet who gets put into a wrestling match.
Okay.
Penelope Ford is the same thing. She was the hot chick with her husband who the money is really on her, not him. He's just another just good looking guy who's at 165 pounds, So the fact that now they see, hey, here's the sex appeal on these women, putting them on TV. Ty Conti came from NXT training under Serena for a year or two, and now She uses a lot of her mixed martial arts stuff and judo throws. I like how she incorporates her stuff. I saw her in an NXT show, and she stood out to me live in Buffalo. I was like, this girl has ability and knows what she's doing a little bit more than others. So you're going to see that level of difference between them. Hopefully now that the professor is teaching back there, she can up everybody's level from Penelope Ford and Bunny. And I'm sure they want to get to that, but there's only one thing that can do that, bro. Time, and we're really reps. You know, that's what it is coach, tell them.
Yep, more reps than anything. And I've been watching this product like you, I mean, since day one. I was never impressed with Ty in NXT. And so I was hesitant when she walked into AEW. But I'll give her this year's award for most improved. Last year went to Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. This year I'm giving it to Ty Conti. She's getting there. She's right there, right underneath where she needs to be considered a major player in AEW that could do battle with the Roses, the Serenas. And Penelope Ford, we've discussed what improvements she needs to make on this show many a times. I thought this might have been Penelope's best outing that she's had yet on Dynamite. Yeah,
that's what I wanted to put over. Ray, even though you saw her being a little green, she's come a long way in the last like 3 or 4 months. Quickly.
That's fair. But again, this is coming from somebody that just tuned in.
I know, I get it. Sure.
But I really, speaking of awards, I would really like to give an award to that cameraman in the corner.
Well, that's the other part. You've got all this cancel culture, Me Too guys who are really Pornhub addicts. And without saying, here's the sex and putting it over, they show and give you the sex.
And he zoomed in.
Oh, why wouldn't you? And Ty Conti knows it. She comes out with her ass cheeks out. Go look at her Instagram. These girls love being sexy and using their sexual power, but we can't call it out in 2021. Otherwise, we're chauvinistic. Like, okay, if that's the game we're playing, so be it. But it doesn't mean they're not going to do a close-up and get a little shot of dew on the morning fucking fur, because they are, bro. And by all means, let's get back to some sunny upskirts. Sex sells. That's what's going to get people tuning in.
Always has.
So
it will never change.
I don't see why there's any reason why they couldn't do a Playboy edition with Penelope Ford or something like that if they chose that. As long as they are not basing the entire women's division specifically around sex, like the Attitude Era women, I think it'll float by just by, even in today's the way today is. As long as we got the Serenas and Rosas and Britt Bakers in the ring kicking ass and the Jennacide, sure, if she wants to do Playboy, let her fucking do it.
They're all taking nude pictures of themselves anyways that get leaked. You might as well fucking get them out there.
I have a question for you guys. What if Tony Khan did his own version of Playboy?
He would never do it.
Why? Why not?
Because they try to tote that corporate line of being inappropriate, sometimes a bit too much. And I agree with a lot of these things.
What if he bought Playboy?
Right.
Sure.
Right. What if he bought that? What if he bought that magazine? Well, I don't know, Ben. It's a possibility.
I'd buy like a Brock Lesnar or something before I bought Playboy. I'd stack my team a little bit more.
Brock and AEW.
Ford works over. In the end, it's Bunny with the trip. Conti pulls Bunny up on the apron. Conti sends Ford into Bunny. Tricky pin for the win. We just saw this fucking jump up misdirection in the seg before. Here's what I hated in this match. The girls were working their asses off. Then we get this. This was the worst part of this match because they had done everything pretty well up to it. Ty Conti's got Penelope Ford in the corner, clears the ref out of the way, comes in with the big boot, pacha in the corner, awesome. Goes the other corner, big boot, bang, hits her again, devastatingly stiff. Third time, comes in, pow. Penelope Ford sells out. Ty Conti hooks her up. Penelope Ford comes to life, shoot reverse, gets her up in the fucking DVD. I go, what the fuck?
After the two kicks,
shot her in the face 3 times with a shot.
Yep.
He goes, that shit didn't hurt. I meant to do that, bro. That's where I'm like, they're getting it. They don't get it. They don't get it at all. And then we go into the finish, and the finish was cute, but we had just done it. But that triple fucking awesome spot with the kicks and then to no sell that, man, that's so New Japan wrong style bullshit. I cannot stand it, bro.
She should have definitely.
I'm not just eating on them. It's anybody who does it, because I was into this match of how much they improved, and then we did that. I go, we got a long way to go.
Across the board, bro. Like, I agree with you. They shouldn't have done it. We might have seen that happen twice in the main event. I don't know. We'll have to follow on with the show.
The young lady should have rolled out of the ring at least for a 9 count.
Yeah, Come on. Down. Well, no, what that spot is 1, 2, 3 on all those kicks. Walk out, flare flop, and down, bro. That's the fucking. That's the spot.
From the coach's eye, there was one part about this match that was concerning to me at the very beginning when Ty jumps off the apron into a simple crossbody. And if you notice that she nearly somehow scorpioned herself because the girls didn't fall. Now we see this, and this is coming from a coach of women's wrestling and a fan of women's wrestling. We see a lot of females, Red Velvet, Sasha Banks, on the dives where they're scorpioning themselves. Here was a case of Ty doing the most basic dive you could do and nearly putting her neck at risk.
What does that tell you? What does that tell you?
I don't understand yet. I will hopefully in a few years, the difference in the mechanics of different body types flying through the air and why some need to move certain ways. I just think maybe sometimes they're committed too much into going forward as opposed to giving them a way out to land on their feet, which you see most of the males do on their dives. It's as a coach, when I teach dives, you land on your feet pretty much at all times possible. But we see these people going head first. So we need somebody back there that if they're going to dive is showing them and everyone else on the roster, especially the newer guys, how to do them safely and not kill each other.
I would just say stop doing fucking stupid ass dives that are meaningless. How about
that? Was the most simple one you could do. I mean, you've probably done that dive before.
It was a crossbody. It was a crossbody in the ring. It wasn't like she jumped out of the ring, you know. So I agree.
I still say stop doing dives. Post-match, Conti and Bunny beat up Conti. Anna Jay's music hits, and we had another hot girl with Jim Shark fucking clothes on, and it looks like we're gonna get a hot girl tag, boys. That's hot girl summer.
Hot girl summer.
Backstage, Alex Marvez talks to Thunder Rosa about winning the Casino Battle Royal. Nyla Rose and Jade Cargill surround her on either side with Vicky Guerrero. Rosa tries to fight, but Rosa goes, "Fuck this! I'll throw the first punch." Knuckles up on Nyla, then hits Jade until they start beating her down. But then Jade's attorney gets in the middle and goes, guys. I popped huge for that. Freudian slip.
I just got that.
Breaks it up.
Girls.
Yeah. And then as much as I love her, Vicky Guerrero botches her one line on the way out. And that's the first things you've done right. What? Okay. Thank you, Mamacita. And they exit in what is possibly the most laughable and ridiculous scene on this show.
This one got me hot. I haven't seen Thunder Rosa in weeks.
Yeah, I know.
I get her. Right before she has time to say anything, she gets jumped by the two big girls in the match, gets beat up. They have a weird exchange following it. The only thing I had in my notes is, God, I hope Thunder goes over. If this is leading to Thunder Rosa winning the Battle Royal, then fine, I'll give them an out. If it's not, they got some hell to pay.
Then somebody's gonna pay.
Yeah.
Thunder Rosa, outgunned here, Ray. But to be honest with you, all you really got to do is let these green girls handle themselves, and they'll end up injuring each other.
Well, you know what Bobby Heenan says, or was it Jesse Ventura? Nothing can stop somebody like a thumb to the eye. So
that's right. They don't have that. They don't have the old thumb to the eye machine. I never seen that one at Planet Fitness. Here from AEW Champion Statlander, Rebel Hater. Lucha Bros with Jurassic Express with Marco Stunt and Alex Abrahantes. The Elite with Don Callis and Brandon Cutler. Dude, I gotta say right out of the gate, my MVP for this show is, and it was probably for the last 2-3 weeks, is Nick Jackson. On the way to the ring, bro, he is into it on a Shawn Michaels in the moment level, and the guys behind him, and usually it was Maddie would be the focus, and Nick early on would kind of look disconnected. whatever's happened to Nick to reinvigorate him, it's coming through the camera. He looks like a star. He's doing, it feels like real NWO, and the guys behind him, you know, whether it's Big Luke or Machine Gun, are trying to have to step up to even fill a 60% of what he's doing. And to be honest with you, and this is a problem, I think Nick has crossed over into the improv. If it feels weird, do it more. No fear, follow the fear, go into it. And guys like Luke and the other guys are still worried about looking like being cool guys on camera. And when you do that while you're trying to fucking be in the moment and follow the fear of what he's doing, like Nick's gravity could pull them in there. They just got to let go of that last little bit and really just let it all out there. Then we're gonna have something. But Nick Jackson impresses the shit out of me with his character work and being in the moment, bro. I don't know how you feel, Sil. You're shaking your head.
I mean, this is one of those times where you and I are 100% in sync. From his entrance, I felt what you're feeling, and Nick was literally just exuding, pouring charisma. And then his work in the ring is so fucking high level. Him doing all these crazy fucking spots, moving like no one's business. If you've watched this show and you've listened to our review every week, I've had a metamorphosis with Nick Jackson. I always said he was a great wrestler, but Matt was always the show off. Matt always had the character.
Yes.
Right? Now they're flipping.
Matt's not like giving him the spotlight. He just went by him. Matt's still doing his thing. He just went from being the B player in the scene to being the alpha. Let me go to the end of this match still, because this is a very nitpicky thing why he's my MVP. So character-wise is one part of it in that entrance. They get set up for the finish, which is going to be a fucking Meltzer driver gimmick, right? But right before that, they've got fucking, was it Phoenix down? And they're about to give him the double knee V-trigger gimmick.
It was Phoenix.
He ducks and pulls them together. They take a face bump. He goes and does some athletic, sexy fucking springboard gimmick, right? And takes them both out. They both go down and sell. However, on the sell up, Nick like sells like crawling over Matt to get on the other side because they know they're going to catch him on the springboard, and that goes into the finish. So Matt has to holster all the weight of Phoenix because now Nick's gonna go out, sell or go out around the ring and come in to hit the fucking springboard thing for the finish. But on the sell, he knew he was on the wrong side, like goes and rolls over him to get to the right side to get to the next spot, bro. There's not a lot of guys in this fucking business who have that level of ring awareness of going into the finish. Just like I was a little overcritical earlier of what's old boy who stood there and took the crossbody, Jack Evans. This is the exact opposite of that, bro. Mm-hmm. No fan would know. Well, they just look at him like he's on the cell holding his stomach, but really he's positioning himself for 3 chess moves that he has to make down the fucking road, and he knows where he has to be. Bravo, Nick Jackson, fucking worker of the fucking week, no doubt, in my opinion, man.
And I just wanted to jump in. You know, you guys are discussing the charisma exuding from the TV screen. And I'm like, when I watched the main event this morning, I'm like, what is it about the Bucks coming out that looks a little different? And hearing you gentlemen speaking about it, now I get it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because I remember watching Nick Jackson, Nick and Matt, you know, when they were in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I was watching them back then. I watched a little AEW. They didn't look like they had that zeal for being on TV for some time, and I tuned out and I haven't watched it in a while. Coming back to watch it this morning, I'm like, shit, this looks like a different tag team.
Yeah,
I couldn't understand in my mind why. But listen,
well, you could see what you were explaining is when they were burnt out for real, bro. They were legit like burnt out, and whatever it is that they had to do to relight the candle, they've done it, man. And he's burning brighter than he ever has, dude. So, what are you thinking, man?
What they remind me of, Ray, to your point, is they remind me of the old Hardy Boys. So Hardy Boys, Jeff was the shining light. Everyone knew that Matt Hardy was really good wrestler and kind of the glue of the team, but everything was on Jeff. I think the Young Bucks were in a similar situation. Matt Hardy becomes Broken Matt, and now the dynamic shifted. Now Matt's up here and Jeff's down here. I think we're seeing something similar with Matt and Nick Jackson, where Nick kind of played the straight man, the brother, for so many years. Now he's coming to his own. He's figured out his own broken, universe with this new gimmick and the peacock feather, the chicken feather on his fucking hat. Like, he's doing a phenomenal job. The match itself was cool. It was the shit you'd expect in an 8-man Young Bucks match.
Right.
One thing, Ray, I want to hear your opinions in a minute on this match, being somebody that is not a regular viewer. I mean, there was one moment that was a little scary at the beginning with Luchasaurus and Gallows, where they're doing a big man spot. Gallows goes for a suplex, and Lucha vertical suplexes him, and they land in the most uncomfortable part of the ring, far from the center, and there was a shot of Gallows' feet hitting the ropes. Did you catch that?
I did see that, yeah.
It was a little bit weird.
And nasty and just out of position. They're maybe worried about what's coming next in the big waterfall of what have you. But yeah, there's.
I put it on Luchasaurus in the moment. It could
too. Yeah. And Luchasaurus might be a little bit nervous in that spot. Sure. You know what I mean? Where he's trying to protect it. But I think everybody needs to let go, like what Nick's doing, man, but still doing with all their professionalism in the ring. Meltzer driver, like we said, 1, 2, 3 bucks are up, but that's not the business. Omega comes in, and then it's Elite gets heat on Jurassic Express and Lucha Bros, and Omega's kind of doing the opposite of what I've been talking about here and letting go. It seems very disconnected and it just saying these wrestling tropes. But then it was cool that he goes, I know you're back there to Don. You shouldn't have left your keys out, Tony, and now lower the cage. And then the cage comes down, good visual. And people try to come in to help out, and they get spritzed off with the fucking cold spray or the get kendo sticked on the knuckles and shit like that. Marco Stunt almost makes it and then gets taken out. But it was good heat at the end. It just, after seeing a lot of what was real Kenny stuff, kind of made it wrestling phony for me a little bit there while you're calling it out on the mic. But good heat to go off of. And then we end post show with a big moment that's hit the internet. The boss coming out and trying to one up that with what his idea of emotion is, and looks like kind of a 5-year-old having a temper tantrum because he can't have any more cookies. I don't know. Go ahead.
It's 37 seconds. So here we go. This is our boy Tony Khan at the end of the show.
Guys, for what you saw to end the evening, and I promise you that on Sunday night at All Out there will be no outside interference in that match. There's going to be a cage match and there will be a winner. And this is a lot more wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. Please. I am glad you all stuck around. We're going to have a great week. We have 3 great matches left for you, and still to come. You're going to see Eddie Kingston, John Moxley, Thank you guys. I love you. Thank you. So good to be home.
While he's jumping up and down, bro. I had a college roommate my freshman year, named Matt, who had advanced ADHD and bipolar issues, and he used to jump and 360 clap just like after he'd say a line, bro. And just because he couldn't stop his body from doing things, that shit was identical to how Matt used to fucking act, bro. Like just after lunch and shit like that.
Silvio, before we get off the air, you had a question for me as a new watcher.
Yeah, I got a pitch to you on this one, Big Ray. I mean, I'm not a medical professional, so I can't speak to what's going on with Tony Khan. But as a new viewer to this show who doesn't get to see this kind of match every week, the Young Bucks style and the AEW trios or 4-on-4 style, just from a match bell-to-bell perspective, what did you think of this 8-man?
All right, so again, you're speaking to a kid that grew up watching a lucha style, watching his dad, watching AAA when I was a kid, watching Lucha Libre. This was like, wow, how can I put this? It was like
you don't got to say it all Spanish and shit. You can just call it Lucha Libre.
Oh, Lucha Libre. Anyway, from start to finish, I was intrigued. I'm the type of person that, like, my favorite wrestler of all time is Kurt Angle, of all time, because of the way he can transition from one move to another move to another move to another move, so on and so forth. I enjoy this. I enjoyed this a lot. I enjoyed the transitions, the hot tags, all this other stuff. Again, watching WWE TV every single week, watching NXT, it's the same old thing. It's like Roman Reigns. It's like missionary position every single. This was different. This was different. Now, will I get tired of it? I don't know. But Silvio, to answer your question, I quite enjoyed this. I liked it. I liked the finish, and for me, it was entertaining from the opening bell to the end of it. What wasn't entertaining was, again, what happened after the bell. For me, Kenny Omega coming out. I did like Kenny Omega throwing in, "Help me, somebody help me." That, if you heard that, I did notice also the spot where Luke hit his foot on the rope. That could have been really bad. But other than that, man, this was very, very entertaining for me, and I understand a little more, again, why people love this and why my son is into it.
Ray, you being a Lucha fan, you asked me earlier which women really impressed me at NWA. From the male side, who most impressed me was the tag team of Mecha Wolf, the former Mr. 450, Mecha Wolf, and Bestia Say. They killed it at 73 and at the NWA pay-per-view. They had one of the best TV power matches of the entire taping. They did a Lucha Libre style scramble type match. Have you gotten to see those two together as a team yet? They're the current NWA tag team champions.
I haven't.
And Bestia Say.
I have not. I know. Ben, is Mr. 450 our old friend's buddy?
Mr. 450?
The FWZ?
Yeah. That's Hausman's pal.
Okay, so I do know his work, and I know he can. I know he can, as you guys say, he can go. So I have not, but now you're telling me something, and guess what I'm going to do when I get off? I'm going to go to YouTube. I might text you on Facebook to get the names correct, and I'm going to see what they got. What do I have to look forward to when I watch them in a tag team match?
Character timing. So Mecha Wolf, right? I said the former Mr. 450. I saw 450. Mecha Wolf is a different animal.
Okay.
He's transformed into the character.
He's evolved.
The team fits together. Their look is great. They're in sync. They work with that lucha influence, but in a very palatable way to the American style.
Okay.
I was just super impressed with them as a team. They really stood out. Got
you. I'm looking forward to it, man. And again, guys, this was, for me, I found myself entertained. I wasn't on my phone. Like sometimes when I'm watching NXT, guys, I'm going to be real with you. I'm on my phone and I have to go back to the notes to look at what I might have missed. Here, I found myself watching. Now, I don't know if it's a thing that's like the new girlfriend or the new girl you're dating or guy, it's year 2021, that excites me or that I'm intrigued by. It's got to see if it can hold my attention. And I'm gonna watch the pay-per-view this weekend. So we'll see.
And Ray, now you get to be witness for one of my favorite parts of Light the Fuse here.
What's that?
It's like trying to pitch Vince McMahon an angle.
Yeah, pal.
So I thought top to bottom, this was a very good show, very solid go-home show. So as the drum roll in my head plays, Hamin.
Ding dong.
Did we get
Hello?
Did we get a good show top to bottom this week?
Yes, we did get a good show top to bottom. We got hot tag.
All right, I got him.
We got good pre-tapes. We got good performances from Jericho and MJF to keep a long feud going. Girls have improved. There's still things that need to be improved upon. If we were perfect, then where are we going to go?
Well, they're going up, right? With the
maybe overusing Punk, but you still got Punk. And then the main event, Nick Jackson stole it, in my opinion. So definitely a good show all the way around, but also playing their hand maybe not to the best, the way it should be yet. So I enjoyed it, and I was excited that Ray was going to be able to join us today and, shoulder some of it. But and always great to be back with you still. I was so proud of you guys with everything you've put in work-wise to see it come to fruition NWA-wise. And on behalf of the great Timmy Baltimore, congratulations.
I'm in my nice new power.
I like that.
Right, showing the power. No, Big Ray, thanks for stepping in and making it a 3-man booth today. Always fun.
Well, I wanted to do a show with you for a long time, to be honest with you. And this was my opportunity. Like I said, my wife she's gone back to work. So, on my days off, I will have more of an opportunity to get on with you guys. What?
These house husbands I have on my channel here don't have to do
God
shit.
damn it. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, brother. I work my ass off all fucking week.
I gotta learn how
these
to
2
fly
days.
this Black Hawk. I guess what I gotta.
But yeah, man, it was an absolute pleasure to watch the show. I found pleasure in watching the show. It was a pleasure being back on with my boy Pops over here, and with you, Mr. Susio. It was quite an endeavor. I really enjoyed it, man, and thank you. And I would love to come back on if you guys, I know 3-Man Booth can extend the time of recording.
We're right about where we are, man.
Okay.
Not a problem. I'm going to be in the Donovan Post on 9/11 in Buffalo Championship Wrestling Infidels, 9/18 in Canajoharie, New York, with Ryback, our OVW brother, and Let Me Holla at Your player Teddy Long will be there to make some match into a tag match, I'm sure, sooner or later. So I'll be on the road then. 2CW at the end of the month, September 30th and October 1st, Syracuse and Binghamton, New York. Huge names all the way across. Enzo and Cast, Davey Richards, Eddie Edwards, except for that's right. Plenty of top 2CW names coming back. So it's going to be a big event. I do have to take it down here and say humble sorry and to read this. I know it was blowing up in the chat room. I didn't want to make the whole show about this after we kind of opened, and it's not like I'm here to eat my words by any means. Not something I want to do, but former WCW and TNA star Daphne passes away at age 46. Shannon Spruill. The wrestling world's been concerned for Daphne's condition after she posted an Instagram live video Wednesday night where she appeared to be suicidal. Shimmer Wrestling announced Daphne's passing this afternoon with a message from her close friend Lexi Fife, asking that they respect her privacy, for a while here from her family, and they've announced her passing. So at Screen Queen Daphne. So real tough, man. If you know somebody who is going through a tough time, or if you're going through a tough time, obviously the HMG group is a place where you can find digital friendship. But if it's very serious, we want you to call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255. 1-800-273-8255. Your life is important. You do have meaning, and tough times will always pass. If emotions are running high, know that they're only chemicals inside your body and mind, and that you can control them. Sometimes situations in life make us feel like we're out of control and we don't have anybody. You do have someone, and there's no reason to take your life in that way, because you're just going to leave behind a bunch of people who are going to miss you, and it's never an answer to a short-term problem that can pass, you guys. So be as strong as you can, and if you aren't feeling strong, reach out for help, absolutely, and make a healthier decision for yourself, please.
If you're a wrestler, mental health tends to affect us more than a lot of the average people.
Sure.
And, concussion and brain injuries play a large part in that. So if you are a wrestler that does suffer from mental health problems, I recommend you keep that number handy, either in your phone or taped up. And again, it's 1-800-273-8255, 24 hours a day, suicide prevention line. And if you're a listener that has mental health concerns, keep that bad boy handy as well. They'll be there for you 24/7. But I would just like to send all my love to her family, her friends that are grieving her loss. What I can say about a performer is you can never keep your eye off of that woman. From WCW to being a TNA knockout, she was one of those performers that you couldn't take your eyes away from. She did a hell of a job. Gone too soon and will be sorely missed.
Absolutely. But y'all, infidels, on behalf of Big Ray, the Chris Silvio, you guys can find us at Hamin Media Group, all your favorite outlets. Interact with us on the watch alongs and in the Hamin Media discussion group. About to relaunch the realm under a new brand. Stay tuned. Patreon.com/Hamin Media Group. The Chris Silvio, Big Ray Allah, and Hacker Hamin. It's time to light the fuse. YOLO.